Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Jiu-Jitsu's Coast to Coast, a podcast that talks about what's important on and off the mat. And man, do we got some news, MMA, BJJ news. I'm sure you've probably already been talking a little bit about it on the mats with your boys in the secret chats. Let me introduce my boys before we get into news. Fonzo, Cousinette, how y'all doing?
Doing fucking great, man. We're about to get into these topics. Yeah, man, I'm excited for tonight's show. Ant, how's it going over there? Wherever you're at, brother.
Man, I'm doing good over here in Southern Cal. Everything's going good. I've been busy with work and school and everything. So I'm looking forward to this moment of just talking about these new hot topics, new stories that are going out with Frank. And so I'm just looking forward to what goes on and what's happening.
That's right, man. You got to get that GED, brother.
That's right.
About time, cuz.
All right.
It's been a long time coming. I'm so proud of you.
I didn't realize how important high school was.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, that's why I skipped it.
Homework done. Hey, well, let's get cracking. Let's get into the news. You know, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but you know how we do on this show. We're always fucking around. Been playing around with some new AI stuff. So let's check out what we got. And actually, before we get into the little AI stuff that I've been messing around with, a buddy sent me this video the other day. We were talking before the show started about who's best and who's number one. But this next person is the best, like the best. So if you're okay with being number two, watch this video to see what I'm talking about. All right, so here we go. Let me just play the video here. Nobody's better. Nobody.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Nobody has better toys than I do.
There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Nobody loves the Bible more than I do.
Nobody builds walls better than me. Nobody's better to people with disabilities than me. Nobody's fighting for the veterans like I'm fighting for the veterans.
There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
There's nobody more pro-Israel than I am. There's nobody more conservative than me.
There's nobody that respects women more than I do.
Oh, really?
Nobody would be tougher.
Oh, sure.
24 things nobody's better at than Trump.
Nobody, bro. Nobody.
Not nobody. Not
So
nobody.
don't even try. A lot of people try.
Impossible.
Forget about it. But speaking of number 45, look who called in.
Oh, he's the show.
Number 45. Call me Nick. Let me tell you, I am the best person to ever eat in jiu-jitsu. Hands down. Let me explain why. No one, and I mean no one, can match my toughness, my stamina, my fighting spirit. My guard has yet to be passed, and puny little Gordon Ryan dreams of being as dominant as I am. I've been training for years. I've had the best coaches, the best trainers, best equipment. I am a winner, as in life and in jiu-jitsu. I always come out on top. Hey, Anthony, you remember that time I below that bear? I told you, motherfuckers. Okay, around and find out. You know what else? My opponents are weak. They have low T, no stamina. They don't have what it takes to beat me. They're users. They're fake jiu-jitsu practitioners. I beat them one by one. My jiu-jitsu skills are unmatched. I smash them in order to defend our country, our freedoms, and to protect our borders. I am the only one who can do it, and I will, jiu-jiteros. Let's make America great again, one leg lock at a time, and let's make jiu-jitsu great again. Thank you for your time, and God bless America.
That's
Peace
right.
out, jiu-jiteros. Later, Anthony.
What'd you guys think?
Nice.
Man.
Nice.
Number
It was an
45.
honor.
I always knew he was a fan.
Bet
An
you didn't know he did
honor.
jiu-jitsu. Bet you didn't know he did jiu-jitsu.
Kept
Yeah.
it a secret. He kept it a secret. It's
That's
just,
right.
yeah.
One of the only secrets you can keep.
Number 45. Call me Nick.
All right. Well, I got one more secret. I've been working on this behind the scenes for a while. You guys remember last month? Wow, we got a cool ass one of our most famous interviews with one of our most favorite fighters. Razor Rob McCullough dropped in and gave us a bit of his time. So I I cut a chunk out and I made something with it. So, origin story here. You ready? Here we go. Rob, you fought everywhere, bro. From K1,
World premiere.
WBC, Tachi Palace Fighting, Bellator. But everyone's got to start somewhere, right? What was your first taste of combat, and when did you know that you wanted to make a career out of it?
I started a gym called LA Boxing. It was in Costa Mesa, California. It was the original one. So I went down there to lift weights, and then one of the guys was like, "Hey man, you want to jump in a class?" And I was like, and he wrapped my hands. And I remember wrapping my hands. I felt so tough. It was just like, oh man, I wrapped my hands wrapped before. I hit the bag. The guy who was teaching the class was like, "Hey kid, you got a good kick." And I was like, "I'm gonna be a world champ, dude." Like, I just didn't let it go. And I started training there, hopefully in Huntington Beach. And so one of the guys was like, "Hey bro, you want to teach the class? Because I taught 3 classes in a row." And I was like, "Bro, I was about to take the class." And he's like, "Bro, here's $20." And I was like, "I'll take it." So I started teaching the class, and then shortly after that, opening the gym at like 9 a.m. and a guy came in, Freddie Madrano and his dad, and he was the California State kickboxing champion. I don't know if it was ISKA at the time. And his dad looked around and goes, "Hey man, you have any sparring for my kid?" And I was working the front desk. There was no one in there. It was a Saturday morning. I think I was hungover. And I go, "I'll spar with your kid." And dude, this is like the late 90s. He had this huge video camera back in the day. Remember the video cameras weren't like
the big old VHS tips.
Yeah. And he goes, Can I take it? And I go, "Yeah, go ahead, man." So I put on shin pads, I put on gloves and wraps. We jump in. I think back now, managing distance. He was throwing jabs, inside leg kicks. We got done. The dad goes, "What do you think, man?" And I go, "Dude, that was fun." And he pulls out Freddie's belt. He had this championship belt. And he goes, "This is Freddie's." And I'm like, "Oh, no way, man." And he goes, do you want to fight? So, "Yeah, man, I want to fight." This is 1995. So he goes, "Keep training, bro. We'll get you a fight in like a month." So my very first fight, it was a smoker fight. It was with Freddie Madrano and his dad, and it was in La Puente for John McVale, who was a kickboxing guy locally in La Puente. There's a lot of kickboxers. John Wayne Parr, at one point was there training with him. And I fought. It was in a church. It was random. The dude I fought, his name was David Blocker, which I'll never forget because I'm like, all right. And he did like Taekwondo and stuff. So he's like stretching and doing jump kicks before we fight. And he's pretty good. And it happened to be his birthday. So I'm like, let's figure I'm fighting this dude on his birthday. So I ended up scrapping, and I remember it was really slippery. I had on like these oversized booties on my feet, and like not booties, but like shin pads or like soccer shin pads, and the bottom was covering my feet, so it was really slippery. And I won a decision, and Freddie's dad goes, "What did you think, bro?" And I said, "Dude, that was a lot of fun." He goes, "You want to fight?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'll get you another fight." And my next fight, I fought in Las Vegas at the Four Queens with 8-ounce boxing gloves against one of Master Toddy's guys. And that was it. I got $100 and I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna do this forever. This is awesome."
Hey, origin story, bro. What'd you guys think?
That's wild, man. The receptionist hung over as fuck, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, you want to fight, motherfucker?" First day on the job. All right, let's do it.
Hey, you never know what's gonna happen, man. Imagine if you wouldn't have accepted. Who knows?
Yeah, you got to fucking open the door for opportunity. That's what it's about.
Exactly.
That's what this land is all about, right, Ant?
Yeah. Y'all ready to jump into these news, these headlines?
That's right. Let's do it.
Breaking news. Not really breaking news, but let's start. First story on the headlines here. We got Ultimate Fighter news. When was the last time you guys watched Ultimate Fighter? Real talk.
Jeez.
Real talk. Season 2.
Season 2? Shut the fuck up.
I think like when Nick Diaz.
I know you watched more than that, fool.
When Nate Diaz, the younger brother, when he was on, I think that was the last season I watched.
Nate?
Yeah.
You didn't watch Ultimate Fighter when Robert Whitaker was on, or
okay, yeah, no, I did watch those.
Okay, so I watched a few episodes here. The last one that I do remember watching was Rampage, when he broke that door. That was probably the last one.
Oh, that was early on.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember when I stopped watching. I think I stopped watching when it switched over to Fight Pass. At that point, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
I can't watch it later.
I know when they were on Spike.
Watch it whenever. What's that?
When they were on Spike, I watched them all the time.
Yeah. Same here. Once they switched over to online, then I kind of fell out. So, but now they just announced this. I know Connor made the announcement first, like, oh, I got asked to be a coach on T.U.F. And then like the very next day, Tony was like, yo, they asked me to be coach. So now it looks like both of these guys are going to be coaching Ultimate Fighter. Bonzo, me and you were just talking about who Connor should be fighting next. We talked about how big he is. You mentioned that maybe he probably couldn't make 155 because I was like, hey, you know what? A good fight for him would be Michael Chandler because it's a winnable fight. It's entertaining. It'll sell a lot of pay-per-views. But then you said, I don't know if he can make the weight. And then I looked it up, and dude, he's fucking huge. He's really big. Yeah, what do you think? You think he can still make 155?
I mean, look,
if he time frame.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, look, he's an athlete, he's a fighter. So if you give him enough time, he's gonna make whatever weight he needs to make. He's done it before. I mean, he's dropped down like super low. So you know what I mean? Like, I don't have any doubt that he'll make the weight. But my point is, does he want to? Because he just put on all this mass. Like, what is he trying to do? You know what I mean? So my point to you when I pointed out his weight, it was like, why not go up and challenge? Make an exciting ass fight. And I think I told you, like, I would be excited to watch him go up against Pereira. Like, that would be a fucking fight that I'd fucking, hey, you can make that $100 pay-per-view. I'd fucking buy it.
Pereira would light his ass up, dog.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I would pay to watch that shit.
Yeah, he'd be dog meat.
Yeah, but what about? I mean, what about with? Doesn't he have all that legal shit going on right now? Where he just got accused of kicking some girl in the stomach, and then like she like accused him of saying that he was gonna drown her, and so she jumped off the yacht that they were on.
I think
that was international waters, fool. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Two things. One, that was international waters. Two, it wasn't him. It was somebody else on the boat. But he was. Yeah. So I think they already investigated, and they found out it wasn't. I mean, why did she bring his name up? I don't know. Maybe she's trying to make some money or something, or he's the only one she remembered. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. But
my other thing is, I mean, Tony Ferguson, love Tony Ferguson, great fighter. You know, I'm totally support him. But my thing is, after seeing how bad he was injured the last time, I don't know if I want to see him just because, like, I like him so much. I don't want to see him get hurt anymore. I mean, he's got heart.
I agree.
Don't give me that. You know, he could go down in history, but I don't know if I want to see him get hurt. Like, even if he does win, just like the damage, you know.
I'm right.
He's about to get paid, bro. He's gonna get paid so much. Not to say that there's a price you can put on brain damage or being cognitive, but he's finally going to make a payday for himself, for sure. What do you guys think his chances are in the fight, though? Because it kind of sounds like you already...
But hold on. The other reality, when's the last time Connor's fucking won a fight?
True that.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're acting like Connor's fucking, like, going to come fucking tear shit up. I mean, he probably could. I'm not saying he can't, but, I mean, if we're talking about reality, can we bring up his last 5 fights? Like, what has happened in Connor's last 5 fights? I gotta say, he's got maybe 1 win in the last 5. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
pretty shitty.
And exactly. And fucking Guku is a tough motherfucker. So
yeah, my thing had nothing to do with it being against McGregor. My thing was just completely on Tony Ferguson, like with the damage that he got last time and seeing the progressive. I mean, there's those memes that came out where they were showing like his entrance over time, and you could see physically how his normal entrance that he does is like his body wasn't moving the same way. That and then how bad he was hurt. I just don't want. I mean, I don't care who he's fighting. I don't think I would want to see Tony Ferguson get hurt mentally anymore. as far as him fighting McGregor, yeah, he's lost his fight, but I don't know, I don't think he's gotten his brain rocked around as much as Tony Ferguson has. But
Oh,
I'll still
you're
go for Tony
100%.
Ferguson.
Yeah, you're
I'll still go
100%
for
right
Tony
about
Ferguson,
that.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, you are absolutely right about that, and yeah, he hasn't had that chin tested as much.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony's been in some battles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I agree, man. I you know what I mean. We all love the sport and we all love fucking these brawls and everything, but at the same time, we know that hey, there's real consequences to this shit, and you know sometimes you feel bad for the fighters putting it out online just for art. So
entertainment.
Yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy, he loves the sport, and he said it before. He doesn't really do it for, like, I guess the fame and the money. Like, he just loves it. He just loves doing this. Like Cowboy Cerrone. Like, he started losing, but that dude, he just loved it. He just loved what he was doing. You know, so got to give it to them for that. But you know, you start building that, you know, that relationship with these fighters from a distance. You know what I mean? And so you just like, I don't want to see this guy get hurt any more than, you know, he is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, as of right now, he can still make his own decisions. I think he enrolled in school.
Yeah, he's going to Harvard.
Yeah, he's going to school. So if he can go to Harvard, he can decide for himself whether he wants to turn his brain into jello or not. And I'm here for it. And I'm here for him to get paid. And you're right, because I think Alfonso, he might have a shot in this. You never know.
Yeah.
Hey, fool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Connor's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Tony's
maybe he's just
5, but you never know. So it's
maybe
all
just
it's all
doing it.
and this could totally be his matchup, man.
Maybe he's just doing it like that girl that works at City Lights. She's just doing it to pay for school. You know what I mean? I don't know.
There you go. All right, next story. PFL news. It's just a little bit of news. PFL had a show the other day, and I didn't know this, but none other than Lucas Hope Barbosa, Atos Jiu-Jitsu black belt, has been dabbling in MMA, and he fought last night, or he fought this past Friday night. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way. He lost by decision, but hey, he's a tough motherfucker. Kudos to him for putting himself out, putting himself in his comfort zone and trying something. He dominated jiu-jitsu for a real time, and now he's trying mixed martial arts. PFL, it's not UFC yet, but that's by far, you know, it's not the minor leagues for sure. He's got his hands full there, and maybe he can make the I think he's fighting at 170 pounds, so a welterweight division. So we'll see if maybe he can make the tournament at, you know, to win that $1 million at the end of the season.
Damn.
Okay.
All right.
What is he? What besides jiu-jitsu? What else has he been training in? Like camp is he in? Do you know?
You know what? I don't know who he's been training with. I don't know where he's getting his striking in. I haven't seen any footage. It's been pretty tight-lipped. But I would imagine he's already got the jiu-jitsu down. He's in San Diego. So who knows?
Okay.
You know, he's got Andre. He trained, his jiu-jitsu coach is Andre Galval. I'm sure he's just probably working with one of those guys as stand-up coaches or something. Because Galval
Alfonso, are you trying to recruit him for your gym?
Heck yeah. And Guardal's jiu-jitsu, man, he's got to come up, man. Although
I knew it. I knew you had it planned.
You forgot. You thought you forgot.
How can you forget? Right. How can you forget?
He needs another private, Alfonso.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some MMA news here. UFC specifically. Our boy Durinho, we talked about him last week, right, Fonzo? He put on an exclamation mark of a show, submitted Neil Magny in round 1. Was it arm triangle?
Yeah.
Right,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Arm triangle. Mm-hmm. And soon after that, a couple days later, he's chirping on Twitter. And he posted this, and he's eyeballing London. He's wanted to get on the card. Fonzo, what day was this? What day was January 26th? That's 2 days ago. Was that Wednesday or Thursday?
That was Thursday. Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday morning, he tweeted this, And then I was like, I retweet. Well, not. I think I did retweet it, but I replied and I was like, "Yo, who you want to fight?" And then I went into work, and then when I came out, he posted a little poll, and he was like, "Yo, who should I fight? Colby, Bilal, backup fighter for the title shot between Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, or Jorge Masvidal." Fonzo, who would you vote for in that matchup of those four? A, B, C, or D?
A, man, Colby, 100%.
All right. Cuz, who would you vote for?
Same thing, Colby.
All right. Colby was the did receive most of the votes. I voted for Masvidal just because I think we talked about this a couple episodes back when we brought this matchup up, and I was like, dude, that would be a fucking 5-course meal for Durinho. Give it to him, serve it up. He's gonna whoop that fool's ass. And sure enough, Jorge Masvidal tweeted something, and he's like, "Yo, big news coming." So I screenshotted it, replied to Durinho, and he liked that shit. And next thing you know, their fight got announced. So they've been added to UFC 287. 287 in
Miami.
April, right?
Yeah, April 8th in Miami.
April 8th, Miami. So we got Izzy, Alex part 4, if you count the kickboxing matches.
Yeah, part 4.
And Durinho and Jorge. I don't know if it's for the BMF. Dude, Jorge's not going to want to put that shit up because he's not going to come home with that.
Right? Yeah, that shit's done.
What do you guys think about the matchup? What do you think? I mean, Colby versus Durinho would be a great matchup, but I swear that I would rather see Colby and Cosma. But from what I'm hearing, Cosma might not be fighting at welterweight no more. He's supposed to be moving up to 185 now, is what his camp is saying. So we might not see.
Okay, I see that. I see that.
What do you think about the matchup?
The reason I want to see him Burns and Colby was just because stylistically, you know what I mean, you got two good fucking grapplers. I want to see what they would do against other. You know, Colby was with wrestling, Durinho with his fucking jiu-jitsu. I kind of want to see that ground game play out, Colby's got some good striking, Durinho's got some good, he's fucking fuck. So I kind of want to see that matchup. Now with him and going against Masvidal, dude, I just see an ass beating waiting to happen on Durinho's. You know what I mean? That's what I see, because I don't think Masvidal's got anything that Durinho hasn't seen before. You know what I mean? And he has an answer to. So, and to an extent, man, I'm happy about it because, yeah, I want to see Masvidal's ass get beat. That's what I'm here for. So I'm excited about this fight too. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I at first when Frankie was first talking about this, I was kind of like, oh man, I don't really care to see this. Like, he's just gonna whoop his ass. But then the more I heard Frankie talking about it, I was like, you know what? Yes, I do want to see him fucking whoop his ass. I like serve that shit up. Yeah, I completely agree. Easy payday, easy money. I know I'm a little biased because I just don't really care for Masvidal anymore. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it just as an appetizer to the main event. So yeah, I'm good.
There it is. There it is. You called it.
Entertainment.
Appetizer.
Yep.
Appetizing.
That's a chewing.
Who's more appetizing, Jorge or Durinho?
Oh, I don't know. You got to ask him that question.
Oh man, that's on you. You were the one licking your lips a second ago.
Agree to disagree, boys. Agree to disagree. All right. Next topic. We've been talking a lot about people being able to make decisions for themselves and people having the wits about them, and then people getting paid to take an ass whooping. But here we are talking about the fucking thing again. Power Slap League. Guys, episode 2 aired this past Wednesday. Cuz, did you get to watch any of it yet?
I haven't got to watch any of the episodes. I've only gotten to see highlights and other podcasts, other news things. They were talking about the event, so I got to see some of the action through those.
What have you seen so far?
I've seen people get their asses handed to them. Like one dude, he got hit so hard, his face immediately like just blew up. I don't know how these people do it. And there's also the girls division too. Oh man, yeah, no, why? I don't get it. I don't get it.
On Dana White's Power Slap League, they don't have girls yet.
Oh, is that a different one? Okay, then maybe that's a different
one. And then the video that you're talking about, where the guy's face instantly swells up, that's a video from Romania. But
okay, so there's multiple leagues. There's
He copied a lot of things, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, he copied it. Fonzo, any takes yet? I think you said you haven't watched any of it yet, but for the listeners out there, give us your take on what you know of it and the impressions it's made so far, if any.
So yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I don't think I've seen the whole production. I've seen clips of it on YouTube, and highlights of the first event. I don't think I've seen the second event. It's look, I'm trying to keep an open mind, because what I think about it is it's the same thing that people started thinking about back when MMA first started. You know what I mean? Like, it's barbaric, and and it just fucking human cockfighting. And I try to avoid that and come to this with an open mind. And maybe it's just me and my ignorance so far in watching these just highlight reels. But
are we still talking about the slap fighting, or are we talking about your weekend?
Yeah, there you go. We're still talking about the slap fighting. We'll talk about our weekend. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. No, but with the slap fighting, man, I just think, like, dude, I just don't see a strategy to it. You know what I mean? I just don't see any real sport there. But again, I'm trying to keep an open mind. I haven't seen the whole event. So if you can enlighten me, or if maybe I get to see the whole event and I can see a strategy to it and a reason for it existing, in mind. But for right now, I'm just like, man, this is brutal for no fucking reason.
So basically, you're saying if it tickles first, you might be into it.
Well, you know what? It's up to you, man. You got to get me into the mood. All right, Frank,
bro,
go ahead and enlighten us.
Let me tell you something here, man, gentlemen. I fucking is like American as apple pie. They're trying to take our UFC Ultimate Fighter formula and throw it in the trash. They're basically using that same formula that propelled our show. What launched our show into the mainstream? You guys remember?
Enlighten us.
Ultimate Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ultimate Fighter. Ultimate Fighter propelled our show to the mainstream. It helped us open the door to get us on ESPN eventually. We got on major networks. Now we got pay-per-views every month, where back in the day, Fonzo, Cousin, and you guys can testify to this. We used to not get pay-per-views every month. We used to get pay-per-views like every 3-4 months. They were rare. You could almost count all the pay-per-views on one hand,
Yeah.
So now we have them all over the place, and Dana White is just kind of like, to me, like Scrooge McDuck. Like, he's capitalizing on people who are in tough spots. You know what I mean? Like, I wrote a blog about this, and let me basically break it down to you. All right. So I was talking about how mixed martial arts was something that's been around forever. Yes or no? Since the beginning of time, have men not sat around campfires talking about what type of discipline is the best? Wrestling, kung fu, karate, boxing. Yes or no?
Yes.
100%.
Right. And then movies came out about this kind of shit, where fucking Bloodsport and these crazy kumites, but we still didn't know what was the best. And then this crazy family came up from Brazil with this idea, And then before you know it just slowly blossomed into what we have today. And it took a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of changes, but the sport has been somewhat accepted over time. And now Dana White's starting this power slap league thing, and he's trying to use the same formula. He's got these people coming to this house, right? So I don't know how many people got invited to this to train or whatever, but they got 2 episodes done. The first 2 episodes, so far, all they're doing is whittling the participants down so that they have 16 members in the house, I believe. There's going to be 2 teams, 2 different weight classes, 4 members on each team. Does that make sense so far?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So as of right now, there's 16 people trying out, or 32 people trying out for these 16 spots. All right. Each of them have been paid $2,000 to be on the show. If they win, they get another $2,000, and they get to be a contestant in the show, and they make it into the house, a la Ultimate Fighter style. If they lose, you get your $2K and you go home. That's it. All right. So are they going to go home with concussions? Probably. That's why they lost. They got KO'd. They get KO'd. And then supposedly what's supposed to end up happening is they get drafted by 2 coaches. The coaches are supposed to train them how to slap, how to take a shot, and then they're going to keep on fighting until there's a champ at the end. Now, in my blog, I talked about how, T.U.F has been around for so long that there have been kids that are now black belts that are now fighting that watched Ultimate Fighter when they were little kids. And they saw Ultimate Fighter and they're like, dang, Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin, Tony Ferguson, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey wasn't a participant, but she was a coach on the show. And they're like, man, when I grow up, I want to be like that. How many kids are going to be watching this? Because they're going to watch this, right? They're going to watch this. Are they going to be saying, man, I want to grow up and I want to be like that? What do you guys think?
I got a question real quick.
It's bad. Go.
Well, I have a question for you, Frank. So, I mean, I guess I got to go watch the show, but I got a question. What is the strategy here? Like, what is a defensive maneuver, or what is I mean, how do you defend against a slap? Were you just supposed to stand in front of it? Like,
all right, so check this out.
How does that work?
This past week, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep an open mind about it. You know what? Maybe it's safer than we think. Their lawyer guy talked about how their science is gonna back up the data, que quien sabe qué, whatever. So I watched it. You know how much I watched? You know how long it took me to figure out, like, oh, this is fucking pura pendeja. Remember that time that I was watching Vitor Belfort fight? Gosh, I can't remember the guy's name. It'll come to me later, but it was a Vitor Belfort fight, and he ripped some dude. Oh, Marvin Eastman. He ripped Marvin Eastman's skull open with a flying knee. You remember that? And I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, come watch this. Because I was living at home at the time. And I go, Dad, come watch this. And he was like, you call me to watch this? This is what you watch? You think this is good? You know what? Do me a favor. If you're going to call me, don't ever call me for spending the house like that ever again. And he just closed the door and he left. That's what this shit was, dude. I might be turning into my dad. I don't know. Maybe put me on a Progressive commercial. I watched 2 slaps do shit, and that was enough for me to be like, nah, I don't need to be watching this. So what happens is two guys, they're supposedly in the same weight class, right? It was 2 individuals. One guy was way bigger than the other one, but they're weighed. So, it could just be he was taller. So one guy, the smaller guy, goes first, and he smacked the shit out of the dude. Smacked him so hard, something went flying out of his mouth or somewhere. He didn't go. He doesn't go down though. He doesn't go down. So now it's his turn. So now he slaps the other guy. So let me tell you guys this. Both guys are standing in front of each other, right? And behind them, they're holding their hands, and they're holding what looks like a metal bar or maybe a PVC pipe wrapped in something that looks like a pool noodle. And they're holding that in their hands. And that is how they brace themselves, bro. And it's up to them to whether they want to have their eyes open or not, but they are not allowed to flinch. You can't roll with the punch. You can't lean into it. You just got to take it. So guy number 2 gets slapped so hard that he falls back. By the way, there's 2 people standing behind each competitor to catch them from falling down, dog. So this guy gets slapped, falls back into them, but it's almost like, hey, you got to take a knee. He doesn't take a knee. He absorbed it. They give you a 20-second standing count. Bro, your brain is rock still. So they give him a 20-second count, and now we're like, all right, he's ready to go. Round 2, step up, bro. At that point, I just turned it off, dude, because I'm like, there's no way he knows where he's at. You know what I mean? It's almost like waking your drunk friend who just passed out because he's been drinking Jaeger bombs since 12 o'clock, and it's 7 now, and you're like, hey, dog, come take one more shot with us. And he's like, bring it, motherfuckers. Let's fucking, I came to fucking pop. It's like that.
First of all, you don't bring up shit about Anthony's past. And then second of all, I have a question.
Thailand stays in Thailand.
Second of all, I have a question real quick. So, all right, you and I mean, Frank, I don't know about you, but Frank, I know you and I watched plenty of fucking pancrase fights, King of Pancrase fights, right? They fucking had no gloves, right? They did just bare, like, open. So they used to have like the palm strikes. Is that against the rules in this? Or is it like a straight slap?
I think it has to be open-handed. It can't be like, you can't hit with your palm.
You can't bend your palm.
Like they got a lot of rules. They don't let you lift your feet up. It has to be like an open or close. I don't know what kind of bending habits they got.
The only reason I asked that question is because we know how devastating those palm strikes can be. You know what I mean? Like they can do
people get
as
knocked
much
out.
damage. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean,
there's no defense. There's no way you can defend yourself.
Right. So for anybody watching at home thinking, "Oh, it's just a slap. Okay, no big deal." No. If you hit with the right side of the palm, you are getting knocked the fuck. And that's what I perceived in these highlights and those videos that I saw. I mean, I watched the whole thing because I don't know. I just didn't want to. Yeah, I should just for I don't know. I guess just for knowledge.
I mean, like a lot of people, like the only defense to this is like people are like, "Hey, it's America. It's free will. They're getting paid, and it's a job, and they could say no if they don't want to." But to me, it's like, dude, if I gave somebody, it's like bum fights. You know what I mean? Those people have no way to make money. I mean, they could, but you know, they're out on their luck. And for you to take advantage of that for your entertainment, like to me, dude, like, come on, dog. Like, I'm down to watch MMA. I'm down to watch a slaughter. But at that, those two gentlemen are training for that. Those two gentlemen or women are able to defend themselves. And if they're not able to defend themselves, then it's stopped immediately. They're not going to give them a 10-second count and be like, "Oh, she's good. He's good. Throw her back in." That's, to me, that's where the line is drawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think, cuz? Sounds like it looks like you want to say something.
You know me, always devil's advocate. Now, you know what? I did at the very beginning. I was kind of like, okay, you know, I'll watch an episode. But as you were kind of explaining it, the more I realized this is stupid. This is really stupid. Like, I agree with you about. I don't think I'd get through much of this because there's really nothing to it. You know, there's going to be a lot of long-term damage to these people. And if I'm understanding this correct, they get $2,000 to come and attempt. And then if they win, they get another $2,000. That is not enough for any medical bill or any long-term damage these people are going to have, you know. However, you know, in the last part of what you said, and, you know, these guys, UFC, they're training for this. Well, from what it sounds like, and I don't know, I'm just listening from what I just hear. These people are training for it. There's these different techniques. Does that justify it? No. Do I think that they should do it? No. Do I think it's stupid? No. Yeah, I think it's stupid, and I don't think that I'll be watching it. But I have to agree with that other part where, hey, people are so stupid to do all kinds of stuff for stupid reasons, for the thrill or whatever. And I might say, you know what, I'll never do that, or that's dumb. But to them, hey, that's like their thing, and they find whatever glory in it. So who am I to tell them what it is? So, hey, if you're not always forcing you to do it, like the bum fights. Okay, I get, like, that wasn't cool. Those people were, now someone's like, actually, I feel like they're actually trying to take advantage of someone less fortunate. But if I'm understanding this correctly, this is an actual something that people sign up for, and they come to you, and you're saying, hey, I'll give you this if you want to do it. Then, hey, that's on you. If you want to do it, I don't agree with it, but I can understand if people do it. I'm not going to get on them about doing it. So I kind of see both sides of it.
So what you're saying, Ant, is just like
You wanna sign
ESPN
up for
15.
season 2?
What's that?
Let's push this to ESPN 15. Like
No.
You know what I mean? Like way past cornhole. You know, we're not watching cornhole. Like, we're watching like sports are just like way out there.
Yeah, no, I don't see this lasting. Like UFC is one thing, yeah, you're fighting, there's all these different things, but there's defense, and there's a way to try and protect yourself. Whether you happen to, protect yourself or not, that's on you. That's where we have discussions on, hey, if a fight should get stopped or shouldn't. But with this, you're literally just standing there to take a hit. I don't see any sport in that. I don't,
True that, man. And to me, like, it's like a mega slime ball move by Dana to be like, hey, you know what? Let's use the formula that we use to bring Ultimate UFC into the mainstream. We're just gonna do the same shit. I know they're gonna love it. Like, to me, that's like a slap in the face, dude. Like, he's like, they're gonna love it no matter what.
I don't think that I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't think, but I don't know if maybe that was
another way to promote this shit.
Yeah, I just think that, I think ever since the UFC started tough and they went through the whole house thing, I think a lot of shows have gone to that. I mean, we see, like, what's that Special Forces show where they have people, they get them, they competed to go on. There's that new climbing show where I think everyone's kind of going along that route of making their shows in that same format. And it happens to be UFC started that whole thing, but I don't know, but maybe it was just, hey, he saw the money in these other leagues that you were talking about that they had, and like, hey, people like that, people were paying for that, so might as well make some money off of it.
I think that's exactly what he just thought he smelled money and he went for it, and that was it.
Maybe he saw Pride back before UFC or whatever, or one of those other leagues, and was like, hey, I'm gonna do that here in the US, and maybe,
man. I'm just gonna say one last thing about it, and this will be the end of it. I would not be surprised if they're using the same house that they use in Ultimate Fighter. They're probably going to find like Josh Koscheck's fucking Fifi bag back there somewhere. Some fucking lotion and shit left over by Forrest. Like, oh, dude, they didn't even clean it up, bro. I bet. I know it. All right, let's wind this shit down. We just got some fight announcements. Alex Pereira, Izzy, Part 4. You here for it, Fonzo? You here for this, cuz? What do you think?
Oh, man, I think it's just going to run back the same way it's been running. Like, I don't think it's going to change anything, man. Pereira's too big. He showed that. But, yeah, Izzy was piecing him up in the beginning. But that's nothing new, man. That's what's happened before. That's what's happened in the past. You know what I mean? Like Pereira has shown he can take the punches, and hey, like, all he needs is that big power punch. And he ain't no slouch either. I mean, it seems like he's growing in his MMA game. And you know what? Next time, it might actually be way more dominant on Pereira's part. That's what I'm thinking. So either way, I'm excited to watch the fight. I enjoyed the first one. It's, you know, what's not to like? What's not to be excited? All for it, man.
True that, man. Cuz, what you think?
Well, you know what? The last fight, I mean, it was really good. It went the way I wanted it. However, there was I think at the very end or towards the end, Adesanya, he tried to take him down. And I know that they were talking about in the before fights and everything like that, the interviews, how they were saying how he's been practicing maybe a little more ground game and everything. I think if he, and I hate Adesanya, to be honest, I hope he does lose, but I think if he continues to practice that and he can take him down, he might be able to win because what's his name had no ground game. I mean, they both had no ground game, but Adesanya looked like he may have been practicing a little bit more, maybe a little more familiar with the ground part. So I think if he learns from his mistakes, take that fucker down, and that's where he'd have a little better chance at beating him.
True that. He did have success in that third fight. And I don't know if you guys, I don't know where I saw this. I don't know who posted it, but there was some training footage that got posted up this past week of Izzy training with gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Who's the lightweight that he trains with?
Oh, Triple Cheese?
No.
That was that's John Jones, right? He trains with
Oh yeah.
What's his name? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Who's Izzy training with?
Who's part of that team? Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it, but this past week some video came out. I don't know who posted it, but it was Dan Hooker training with Izzy. And they were working, I mean, the footage just starts with Izzy like on all fours trying to get up off the mat. And Dan Hooker's got like one arm around his waist, like he's trying to take his back. But instead of trying to take his back, he's just raining down shots. And he is beating the shit out of Izzy, dude. He does not let Izzy up. I'm like, oh shit, man. They're going live, dude. They're going pretty hard. They're not power shots, but they're not like pitter pats either. They're fucking each other up. So I mean, he's putting in work for sure. So if that's how hard he's working, that might be part of his game plan is to get him down and see what's up. So
that's smart, man.
He's been fucking around. You know, he's got Glover there to help him out. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But you know, I think that's smart, man. Avizi and Ant, I think you're right. And Frank, man, if that's what he's doing, I think that's going to be the best strategy. He's proven time and time again that he can't fuck with him on standing up. There's, you know, I mean, he's tried and he's gotten the good of all those exchanges, but there's only so much you can do with somebody who has that much power and also that much of that fucking beast of a chin. You know what I mean? Because if you can't put him away, all those little shots don't fucking put you away with a couple punches. So the other strategy you got to try.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk this last week about Alex fighting Jamal Hill, who's a light heavyweight champ now.
That would have been good. Yeah, that would have been a good fight too.
Great matchup. But to be talking about a middleweight moving up to lightweight, right? Like that just tells you how big of a monster Alex actually is and what
heavy
or what Izzy has in front of him, what he has to battle. So it's going to be a great fight. I can't wait to see it. Looks like that's going to be the main event of UFC 287 with co-main event of Durinho beating the shit out of Jorge Masvidal. So I'm here for it. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Last bit of news for everybody out there. Quarter 2 fights for UFC got leaked. I have here MMA History Today tweets. If you follow them on Twitter, MMA History Today. So they posted this. It says some of the fights in the next 71 days. So this is quarter 2. So Fonzo, what would that be? What did we say again?
June 30th. June 30th, man, would be the end of quarter 2.
And it starts in March or April? So April,
it starts
May,
March
June.
1st. March 1st.
Okay, March, April.
It starts March 1st.
May, June.
Well,
right.
no.
So
you're right. April 1st. April 1st. Sorry, April 1st.
May, June, right. So those 3 months.
Yep.
We got Makhachev, Volkanovski, John Jones, Cyril Gane, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, Chito Vera, Corey Sandhagen, Alex and Izzy 4, Bo Nickel taking on his first UFC matchup, Justin Gaethje taking on Faziz Durinho, Jorge Masvidal, Piotr Yan, and who's that? Merab Davishvili, and Yair Rodriguez, and Josh Emmett. God dang, those are some fucking fights, dude.
You got to cue up that I just jizzed in my pants. You got to put that one on there because that's exactly what happened right now, man.
All right, I'll look for it. While I'm looking for it, why don't you guys tell me what matchup of those are you looking forward to the most, and what's your prediction in that match?
I mean, out of all these fights, like, I mean, most of them are just dream come true. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Jones versus Gane. How long have we waited for Jones to make his way up to heavyweight in the first place? And then against somebody like Gane is just like, that's a great matchup. It's gonna be a true test of Jones' skill. You know, before, I mean, man, I've always been a fan of Jones and I've always been rooting for him, even when, other people have been like, yeah, fuck that guy. But I mean, you can't deny how dominant he. So to go have him be up against Gane, like, that's probably going to be, for me, one of the best fights that I could have hoped for this whole year. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a true test. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Jones at all. And he might fucking lose this because Gane is a beast. He's a fucking absolute going to challenge him. So of all these fights on here that I definitely want to see, I think that's going to be the one that I'm really looking forward to this year. Ant, what do you think?
You know what? I mean, looking at this list, I mean, there's a lot of good fights, but I can't say that any one of these fights really stands out to me to say, oh my God, that one I cannot miss. Don't plan anything. Got to watch that fight. I think they're all going to be really good fights. And a lot of, like we've talked about in other shows, some of these fights are like Jones. You haven't seen a fight in a long time. It's really going to be a test. I just want to see where he's at, what he's able to do after being out for so long. So I feel like, a lot of these, we said Masvidal and Burns, that's just appetizer. So I don't know, man. None of these really, like, for me personally, none of these really stand out like, oh my God, I got to watch this. But I will be watching. There will be some good fights, but none of them really, blow my mind.
All right. What about you, Frank?
I got to say that I am feeling like this video right here when I saw all of these matchups. So I'm just going to hit play if that's cool, guys. This song explains exactly how I feel about these UFC matchups in quarter 2.
Lock eyes from across the room, down my drink while the rhythms boom. Take your hand and skip the names. No need here for the silly games. Make our way through the smoking crowd. The club is the sky and a cloud. Moving close as the lasers fly. A body check last week.
I'm telling you guys, I'm super pumped for all these because I can't believe that you're not hyped for these, man. But hey, let me tell you what I'm hyped for. Makhachev Volk, yes. John Jones, Cyril Gane, yes. Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman 3, yes. Chito Vera, Corey Sandhagen, yes. Alex Pereira, Izzy 2 in the UFC, yes. Bo Nickel versus some chump, yes. Justin Gaethje versus Rafa Faziv, yes. Durinho versus Jorge Masvidal, yes. Piotr Yan versus Merab Davishvili, yes. Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett, yes. I'm here for all of these. And honestly, I don't know if I can. I mean, maybe Makhachev Volkanovski, I can pick a winner. Burns, Masvidal, I can pick a winner. But these other, Bo Nickel, for sure, I can pick that winner, right? But the rest of those fights, hopefully Chito Vera, but I don't know. Dude. I want to see Chito win because that's going to set up a title fight between him and the winner of fucking Triple C and Sugar Sean. You know what I mean? So these fights are going to have an echo in a ripple effect in all kinds of matchups down the line. So even if you're not hyped for these matchups, they're gonna lead to bigger and better things down the line. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure. So Q2 UFC, I'm here for it. Take my money. I'm still not paying. How much are we supposed to be paying for pay-per-views right now?
Full fucking $80, man. I just paid it last weekend, and I'm just telling you, it wasn't fun, man. Fuck that shit. But what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I just wish I had the black box that we had back in college, Frank. That's what I wish.
We need Comcast back.
Saying.
They're gone. Them days are gone.
Yeah.
We'll figure something else out. In the meantime, paying $89. Hey, whatever. We'll see. We'll work something out, Fonzo.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, gentlemen. That's a wrap. Next week, we got A1 Combat coming out here. Tachi Palace Fights. I got an awesome interview with the main eventer. Unfortunately, we got some bad news. I'll talk about that later. But this week, we're going to be releasing 2 episodes. So this one, along with an interview that I did with the main eventer. So we'll talk. I'll post that up later. Gentlemen, anything you want to say to everybody out there before we cut out?
Yeah, I got one thing to say, man. I'm excited to hear about the story of your date, Ant. I heard it went really well. You had a fucking nice date not too long ago, and I don't know, man. It was a notable person, so I just I can't wait for you to tell us about it.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about it next week or something.
Yeah,
I guess I'm looking forward to talking about it too. I'm a little.
Scared?
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But hey, thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Why are you getting nervous?
Because I have no idea what to prepare for now.
All right, well, stay tuned, Buteros. Stay tuned.
Yeah, for sure. For those of you out there listening, head over to our YouTube channel so you can watch the video of this, so you can see all the jokes and stuff if they didn't play through in the audio world. But other than that, have a fantastic week. Stay safe out there. Let's slide into February, and let's keep rolling and training. And we hope to hear from you soon. Peace.